We are going to start making the scarf joint. We are going to use on a flamenco guitar a pretty high angle on the scarf joint because we are going to use flamenco pegs and we need some tensions, and the high angle on the scarf joint will help us. For the neck, the scarf joint, we are going to use cedar blanc. We are going to use cedar because it's traditionally the most used wood on flamenco guitars, also because of the look. It's very appealing for a flamenco player to have a cedar. So in this blank we are going to lay out our template for the headstock, and then we are going to see where we are going to cut for making the scarf joint. We are trying to achieve a dry flamenco sound, and we don't want a lot of mass on the neck, on the headstock, because that mass will keep on vibrating, and we want the sound to be dry. We want to lose a bit of sound. We want the sound to be quick and then decay faster. With this stacked heel, we are going to build what is called as the Spanish foot. The first option is to use a hand plane. You must be sure that this is very sharp and well set up, and start with a very shallow cut and listen to the wheel. The first step before we actually build the soundboard is to select the wood that we are going to use. There are many criteria to select the wood, and I will show you the way that I do. Think about the stiffness as next. If you use a top that is way more stiff, you may end with a guitar that is hard to play, not because of the action, but because of the feeling at the top. It feels so rigid that it's very hard to move the bridge. Now let me talk to you about the plans. Something that I learned from the very first guitar is that plans are only a reference in terms of the aesthetics of the guitar, and they are a guide for you to build a guitar. But the biggest error that you can commit is to go after every number in a plan. Don't do that. You may be wondering why I'm not graduating the top, I mean making it thinner on the edges. Because I want to lose some sound when the sound arrives to the sides. I want you also to notice that you will not see me doing this, tapping the top. For me, there is no point there. I'm after the stiffness and the feeling of the guitar. I know many of you will automatically do this, which is very cool on the video, but for me it says nothing. I can hear the sound, I can remember the sound of a great guitar, but for me it's better to be focused on the feeling of the wood. So we are going to work on our back. We are going to start by selecting the wood. I'm going to use Spanish cypress from Andalusia, and this is the private stock of Gerundino Fernandez, which was a real true master making flamenco concert guitars. For this guitar I'm trying to be very light. I want a very light body because I want the sound with a quick attack, quick decay. We are going to use also this back as a live back. I will talk to you about what a live back is when I glue the braces and when I carve the braces on the back. The spacing I'm talking about may vary a lot. I have seen guitars with a spacing like this, here maybe 1.5 centimeters. I don't like this type of spacing because I think we are losing too much energy. So I want a spacing like this, more or less, because I want to lose some energy here. I want to cut the sound. We are going to taper the fretboard in two directions. First, here, in this direction. I want also this fretboard to be tapered in this direction. So I want 7 millimeters here, and we are going to be about 4 millimeters here. We closed the guitar yesterday. Here we have it. Now it's time to bind the guitar. The first step is to flush trimming the back and the top with the sides. Let's do it. Now we need to remove this material here because the router cannot get in. We need this channel to be continuous up to here, and then we will cover this joint with the fretboard. We are now finished with scraping the flash, the bindings. It takes some practice to learn how to use the scraper, but you have seen it has many advantages. But the main problem with the scrapers is how to sharpen them. I showed you how to do this, and now I'm going to round the edges of the bindings here because they feel very sharp. If you have a very heavy bridge, you are adding a lot of mass to the top, and if you have a lot of mass on the top, it's going to be harder to move. You need to transfer more energy to move that bridge, but once it start to move, it's going to stay moving longer. Let me explain you this effect. Here I'm going to start removing material to get the neck flush with the heel cap. As you can see, this provides a very traditional yellow tone to the flamenco guitar. And the most important thing for you builders is to know that flamenco players, they do love this color. Now at this point I'm going to show you a trick to avoid color contamination when you are finishing a guitar. When your muñeca is dry, you can apply a bit more pressure. This is a key factor when you are doing a good job with French polish, because you want this shellac to be very compact and hard as you can get it. And this pressure here, I'm leaning on the guitar, is going to help you to achieve a harder finish. The fretwork consists in 3 steps. First one is level the frets, so they are at the same level, so you don't have one fret that is higher than the previous one. Then the recrown, because when you level, you flatten the top of the crown, and you need to recrown it again. And the third step is to clean and oil the fretboard. Now I'm going to install the pegs. Before I do that, I like to number each peg, just to remember which one goes in each position. I want to talk to you about the solera. The solera is probably the most important jig when you are building a Spanish guitar, because the whole Spanish method is around this piece. Very happy, very happy. It's amazing. Great.